What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back for another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. First things first. No updates this week again, y'all. I ain't got nothing going on. I do not have nothing going on, man. I paused, like I said last week, and maybe the weeks before that. I paused on live events, hosting, stand up. I'm taking a break. I'm burned out. So no new dates on the books, no updates on that front. Thank you so much, though, for people who hit me up every now and then and ask, when you gonna have a show? When the next time you performing live? Hey, man, I don't know. Okay. I'll keep you posted, though, on what's going to be coming up on the calendar. Outside of that, thanks again for the support of Black News Podcast, the likes, the subscribers, the subscriptions, the sharing the post with their friends and family, the sharing the podcast with their friends and family, because I can't get the word out, it seems. That has been greatly appreciated. So please keep that up. I love you so much, and thank you all for that again. And with that said, y'all, let's get into it. I hate when I have to come on this podcast and talk about dark and heavy topics. It is us as Black people, and the fact that we even have to be in these types of scenarios to be talking about these instances. I hate it. I hate it. I do not like it. This past week and today on the podcast, we are talking about another man who lost his life at the hands of police, in this case, the Memphis Police Department, Mr. Tyre Nichols. Tyre Nichols was what seemed to be a wonderful Black man, age 29, had a son, age 4 years old, who was beaten by at least 5 police officers during a routine traffic stop. And then he ended up dying 3 days later at the hospital. And I'm going to go back. I say at least 5 people because there were apparently more people who were involved, including EMTs. And so we don't really know how many in the full count. We do know 5 because they are 5 Black officers who were fired and charged before the video camera footage even was released. Now, I didn't watch the footage. I'm not going to watch Black people being abused or murdered anymore. I'm not going to do it. I was scrolling through social media, and like a first couple seconds caught me, and I hurry up and scroll past. I have, though, read articles that gave the full account of what happened. And so apparently they stopped him. They immediately yelled for him to get out the car. Then they proceeded to beat and pepper spray him, brutally beat him. He tried to run away. They caught him and they continued to beat him. One point, they propped him up, tried to prop him up, and he was visibly unconscious and unresponsive. The paramedics arrived. They didn't offer assistance to Tyre for 16 minutes. And again, he was eventually taken to the hospital an hour after all of this started, and where he was in a coma and died. We've seen articles and interviews with his parents, people who he knows, friends and family, and they all say the same thing. He was a lovely man, loved watching the sunrise, loved his kid, loved skateboarding, a peaceful person, wasn't into anything bad, any drama. And even if he was, that doesn't give the police the right to kill you. Now, there's a couple things about this overall that I really hate. And on top of the fact that another Black person has been killed at the hands of police. One, I don't like how it was a countdown to the releasing of this footage. I don't like that. I do not like that there was this national news countdown of they're going to release the footage today at 6 o'clock. The footage coming out and it's dropping at 6. Brace yourself. Okay, there was a warning about bracing ourselves, but when did brutalizing black people become current and the thing to do in 2023. This was very reminiscent, and I saw this on social media and it really hit a nerve. This was reminiscent of how when people would get lynched, black people, they would send out notices and ads and they would put it in the paper, and all the white people would gather and wait impatiently to see these people being murdered. That's what it felt like. I don't like that. I do not like that. So one, that's one thing I don't like. Two, these officers were black men. They were black, and they were a part of a specialized police unit within the Memphis Police Department called the Scorpion Unit, which stands for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. Ain't no peace being restored. Ain't no peace being restored. But people seem to be shocked about black men carrying out this type of horrific treatment, which is one thing, again, add that to the list of things that I don't like. When are we going to realize that regardless of the color of someone's skin who works at the police department, that the system of policing in the United States is rooted in white supremacy and racism? Oftentimes in the past and throughout history, black people have been at the forefront of brutalizing other black people. There were black overseers. There were black people overseers there were black people who were enslaved who would tell on other slaves for doing something that they deemed wrong. All kinfolk ain't skin folk. We know this. So people are like, how could this be? When you are a police officer, you're signing up to be a part of an institution that is rooted in white supremacy. The start of the United States police force is rooted in slave patrols. We know that. Look up a slave patrol badge, look up the sheriff's badge. It's the same badge. So it's not surprising that black men will get caught up in the shadow and under the guise of being able to operate the same way as other police officers. Because one thing we know for certain, and two things for sure, Blue Lives Matter and that blue wall of silence that you hear about, that don't apply to black people. That don't apply to you. My brother, you not protected behind that. That ain't for you. And we know that because when have we ever seen white police officers being fired, arrested, and charged as fast as we've seen these black men? There's also rumors that there were white police officers on the scene. We haven't heard a word about them. Again, that blue wall and the protection, that do not apply to these men. Now, yes, they got out on bond, but them brothers going to prison, and they going to prison faster than any other police officer that we've ever seen involved in something like this. So, those are just a few things that I don't like. Another thing, I don't like how we, the public, continue to share these videos and images on social media. Just because you want to see it don't mean somebody else want to see it. Cut that shit out. Stop sharing that on your timeline. It's traumatizing, and it is making us desensitized to actual violence towards black people in this country. Stop it. People don't want to see that. You can watch, but don't assume that everybody else want to be scrolling. I don't want to be on Instagram looking at natural hair videos and trying to figure out how to grow my shit out, and then I scroll up one and I see a black man being murdered. I don't want to see that. Post the videos of Tyre Nichols skateboarding, having a good time, living his life, being a good dad. There's videos of that going around. Post that brother doing that instead of him being beaten to death. But again, I know this ain't y'all, the Black News listeners. It's for the ashies. But y'all get what I'm saying. Now, what is the solution to all of this? What now? Because we've been saying defund the police. And I don't say I don't really be yelling that out. I understand it and I get the point and I'm for it. But people be saying defund the police. But then they mad because they think who's going to police us? How we're going to stay safe if you defund the police? Well, how we staying safe if you actually fund the police? Because these past few years, they have been pumping more and more money into these police departments and people are still dying. So how are we supposed to stay safe now? How are we supposed to stay safe now? Do we dismantle the whole system? Where do we charge up and hold these, and I'm doing air quotes, good apples more? Do we hold them more accountable for their peers? Because y'all know they're a couple of bad apples. Don't take the whole new burden. Well, the bad apples the good apples ain't goodin'. Okay. So something got to give. I don't know what the solution is, but I know I'm tired of Black people and brown people being murdered by the police. It's a damn shame that these 5 Black men got caught up in the hype of this level of authority, and now their life is ruined. Their family's life is ruined. On top of them ruining the life of Tyre's family by beating him to death. It's a damn shame. It's a shame. So if y'all got solutions, listen, what now? What now? Because we keep finding ourselves back here. And America just feel like it's just on fire anyway. There have been like 7 mass shootings within the last couple of weeks. People shooting people of all demographics at schools, at dance halls, bars. It don't matter. We got a gun problem in America. We got a police problem in America. And other countries who are as modern and as advanced as us, they not dealing with this. So it is a us problem, and we need to start working on it because it's about to get out of control. I hope not, but that's what it looked like. So again, let me know your thoughts. And before I wrap up, I want to read this quote by Bell Hooks that talks about, it's relatable to what we're talking about. She says, many Black men with hostility towards the white male power structure are often eager to gain access to that power. Their expressions of rage are less a critique of the white patriarchal social order and more of a reaction to not being allowed full participation in the power game. Again, I'm going to read it again because that was like a summarized quote. This is the exact quote. Many Black men who express the greatest hostility towards the white male power structure are often eager to gain access to that power. Their expressions of rage and anger are less a critique of the white male patriarchal social order and more of a reaction against the fact that they have not been allowed full participation in the power game. This is Bell Hooks from Ain't I a Woman, Black Women, and Feminism. I have not read it, but it is in my Amazon cart right now. Let me know your thoughts about all of this. Rest in peace to Tyre Nichols, who, again, seemed like a lovely man and who lost his life at the hands of police and has joined a very long list of Black people who have been brutalized over the years. Just unfortunate. I just can't. Hit me up on social media with your thoughts. And now on a lighter note, Michael B. Jordan is fine. Michael B. Jordan is fine. Okay? He is fine. And I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan because in case you missed it, he was on Saturday Night Live this past weekend as their guest host. First time on there, which was kind of shocking. It was shocking and it wasn't. I think I was more shocked than Jonathan Majors was a host on Saturday Night Live before Michael B. Jordan, because Michael B. Jordan been around longer, but Jonathan Majors has bigger roles. So it makes sense, but it don't. But he was on there, Michael B. Jordan, looking fine. Okay. Regardless of where we are with Mr. B. Jordan, whether it's relationship drama, no relationship drama, breakups, no breakups, who he dating now versus who he was dating before, the type of women, whatever. That man was fine. He was looking fine, dressed. That brother was dressed and be dressed. Jason Bolden is his stylist, and you know Jason don't play. He gonna have you styled up. That thing was, he was looking good, okay? Michael B. Jordan's good. And look, I'm saying this because I take that back. I haven't always thought Michael B. Jordan was fine. Michael B. Jordan was fine when he started putting on weight for Creed. When he started working out and got that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pack, That's when I was like, oh, he fine. But he seems to be looking older now, which is what I like. Because I'm old, y'all. Okay? I'm old. I don't like no young, fine dude. Okay? You got to look old. You got to act old. You got to give off uncle energy. And I'm not saying he gives off uncle energy, but he's starting to look older, which is fine. Anywho, I feel like the only time black people watch Saturday Night Live is when they're black hosts. When Issa Rae hosts, we was tuned in. Idris Elba, we was tuned in. Daniel Kaluuya, we was tuned in. So it wasn't a surprise or a shock that black people were talking about SNL this past weekend because of MBJ. Now, he did really good in his opening monologue. People were not shocked, but happy that he addressed the breakup rumors. He did not say anything slanderous about Lori and their relationship. He basically just talked about people thought he was sad because he was looking, that was his face at the basketball game. He's fine. He made a joke about being on Raya now, which I'm sure the waiting list done sparked up. Because, girl, I've been in the waiting room on Raya waiting to get in for 2 years. Raya is the entertainment focused dating app. Y'all know you got Hinge, Tinder, Bumble. Raya, you have to be in the entertainment industry. You have to have referrals unless you're like a super celebrity. And you gonna wait. And if they don't think you are super entertainment industry enough, you're not getting in. Like if you work at like Morgan Stanley, you're not getting on Raya. You got to be working in TV, music, or film, or the arts. They do not play. But I'm going to have to log back in to see if I'm out the waiting list. I know he ain't on there, but I'm just saying who else he is. Okay? Anywho, he did a good job in the monologue. People don't realize how difficult it is to get up there and deliver 5 minutes because you basically doing a 5-minute set. The most comfortable that people are is usually the stand-ups because that's what we do. We get up there, you tell jokes, you used to having that amount of time in front of a live crowd, but actors and musicians, they don't be doing that. So you can tell he was a little bit nervous, which is expected. Everybody be nervous. Now, there were some good sketches, funny sketches. There were some that kind of like, and I'm glad because usually what they used to do during a certain amount of time, whenever there was a black host, they would make all of the sketches about being black for the lead host, for the guest host, I mean. And, after a while, it just kind of, it falls flat. But he had some good ones. One of the best ones was he did Jake from State Farm. Like they did like a parody commercial. That was really good. He played a stripper, which was pretty funny. Mainly because it's, I got a couple colleagues that are on the show and it's fun to see them flirting and like feeling up Michael B. Jordan because you basically know somebody that was like groping this dude. Even though we ain't groping, we respect people's rights and their boundaries and their bodies, but he seemed to be fine with it. So, hey man, whatever. Adding that Lil Baby was the guest performer for the week. Now, I don't know none of Lil Baby music. He performed. I know who Lil Baby is. But when he performed those 2 songs, I had never heard them in my life. I mean, not even a jingle. Sometimes you hear stuff and you just don't know what it is. And you be like, oh, that's his song. I've never heard that music ever in my life. I've never felt older. I never felt older because one, I was thirsting over Wallace from The Wire. And when Wallace was on The Wire, Michael B. Jordan, he played that character. He was like 10 or what, however. I felt like I had a car when he was on that. Okay, maybe not, but I felt like I did. And then I didn't know any of Lil Baby's music. I don't know. I'm that lady. I'm old. But overall, it was good to see him on there. Not sure when the next black host will be, but we're going to be tuned to FN. It was a fun time. And again, it was fun seeing people that I have worked with or know or have met interacting and being flirty, because again, y'all know a big part of the monologue and him being on there was about how fine he was and how everybody liked him. And so the cast members, the women, were, basically trying to get with Michael B. Jordan. It was all in good fun and a good time. He also was there promoting Creed 3, which is coming out in March. I will be in the theaters for that. I love the Creed franchise. Creed 1 is actually one of my favorite current movies. Very well done. Y'all know I think Ryan Coogler is a genius. So him being able to flip the Rocky franchise and turn it into something that we never even imagined could be in existence. And now it is a trilogy and on part 3 with Michael B. Jordan still in it. And my girl Tessa Thompson, who I love her work. And Michael B. Jordan is directing. It's going to be a win-win. It's going to be a good time. Are y'all going to see it? I will be there. Let me know that. And if you watched Saturday Night Live, if you actually watched it while it was on, some clips on YouTube or Instagram, and let me know what you thought about it. Hit me up on social media at Cornelia. To recap this week's episode, we talked about the unfortunate death of Tyre Nichols at the hands of the Memphis Police Department and the 5 black men who have been fired and charged with his murder. And again, on the lighter note, we talked about Michael B. Jordan's guest hosting stint on Saturday Night Live this past weekend, and just him being fine. Hit me up on social media with your thoughts about both topics, all or none. And I'll check back with you guys next week, the same time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again. Thank you. And thank you again so much for sticking with us, supporting the podcast, liking and subscribing on all apps where podcasts can be heard, rating 5 stars, and leaving a comment. It helps more than you know, so I really, really appreciate it. And keep sharing Black News with all of your friends and family. Be sure to hit me up on social media if you got ideas for topics. Or just hit me up in general to let me know you've been listening. Let me know your thoughts. I'm at Cornelia on all platforms across the board. That's at Cornelia, like Kenny and Ophelia. Also check my website. I got some shows coming up in Los Angeles County. Hopefully get on the road soon. But for now, if you're in the LA area, hit me up. Check Cornelia.com for show dates and details. And as always, thanks again so much, guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Keep supporting, keep growing, keep building, keep staying safe, and keep staying healthy. As always, again, I'll see you back here next time, same place. Bye.